Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the IXP Marketplace panel. Just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Flavio Luciani from Namex, the Rome Internet Exchange Point, and I am one of the members of EuroIX Forum Program Committee. So today, I'm going to moderate the discussion around the topic of marketplace portals. Before leaving the stage to our valued guest, let me first share with you the idea behind this panel. As you probably read in the abstract on Swapcar, today through the IXP's infrastructures, members can benefit from a wider range of services. Peering still represents the foundation and the main service delivered by IXPs, but with such a large and diversified ecosystem, from simple peering, many IXPs have developed and become interconnection points in the broader sense of the term. In few words, IXP's participant can buy and sell as well different services from the other members by using the IXP's physical infrastructure, which in this way becomes a sort of the technical tool to support services marketed among members themselves. In this scenario, IXPs need to face a new challenge to facilitate the marketing of those services by supporting members with the right tools, both technical and non-technical. As I mentioned before, the technical tool is represented by the physical infrastructure, but one of the needs of IXP's participants is to know which operators sell which services, where, especially if you think about the larger one, and how technically they can do that. This means knowing which are the interconnection opportunities that underlie the services themselves. To do that, some IXPs built a marketplace portal, tools that aim to satisfy the needs I mentioned before. The needs could be described into three easy words: who, where, and how. These are local and independent initiatives which have the purpose of simplifying the services marketing inside a single IXP. So the questions one might ask are, what is the state of the art about these portals, about these tools? Are they useful? Are they not useful? Who has a portal into production? And what kind of portals exist? All these aspects will be the discussion and the main topic of this panel, of course. It will be interesting to listen to some experience and different points of view about that from our guests. And for that, I now would like to introduce the panelists. First of all, I would like to thank them for joining the panel and for their availability to be here today. We have with us today, lady first, we have Angela Stanescu from Interland, we have Jennifer Holmes from Lynx, Maurizio Goretti from Namex, Michalis Oikonomakos from Grix, and Alexis Wonen from T-Rex. Before we start, I just remind to you all attendees that you can use the Swapcar chat to interact with us. Questions and comments are very welcome. So we can now move on with the first question to our guest. And together with the first questions, I also would like to ask you to introduce yourself. This is the first question. In your opinion, what is a marketplace portal and how can it be useful to IXP participants, if it really is? I would like to start with Angela. Angela, can you hear me?
Mute.
Thank you, Flavio, for the intro. I'm happy to be here, and this is going to be a very interesting panel. And thank you for chairing this panel. Most of you already know me. I'm Angela Stanescu, representing Interland Internet Exchange, the largest internet exchange in Romania. But also some of you know me from RONOG. I'm also involved in organizing the Romanian NOG operators group in Romania. In my opinion, the marketplace portal should be considered an important tool for all IXPs, no matter their sizes. I guess we all know how important it is to keep our customer happy. And if we want to add more benefits to our package, this portal could be very useful and helpful. all the services available in one place. So why we should look somewhere else? I know that the implementation of the marketplace portal, it will reduce a lot of time for the customer to configure the desired services. For example, if they need a private VLAN or a backup port or some additional services. But in my opinion, it will minimize the human interaction between the customer and us. And do we really want to do that? Maybe if we hear more opinions from today's speakers, we can find out more about these portals. So I will let the other speakers to share their thoughts as well. Thanks, Flavio.
Okay, thanks, Angela. I can move the word to Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, yeah. Hi, thanks, Flavio. Thanks for having me here, and nice to see everyone today. My name's Jennifer Holmes. I'm the CCO of Links over in London. I think I know a lot of you guys from forums in the past, but hello and nice to be here. Great opening comments there from Angela. I agree with what she's been saying. I think a lot of the IXs have had what we call portals for a long time now, interfaces that allow our members and customers to interact with us and place orders, sign up to events, look at statistics, etc. And I think now there's the opportunity to use those portals for more than just interacting with the end IXP. The members and customers are obviously looking for more automation moving forward, especially if these networks are appearing at multiple exchange points all the time. They need their user journey at the exchange points to be as smooth and as easy as possible. And adding on extra services is also crucial moving forward. We need to be providing as much value to our members and customers as possible. And if that means being able to advertise and sell additional services via our marketplace and our portal, then that can be seen as useful to some of our members and customers. I think it's something that we need to consider. It's going to change the way we work. Members and customers are going to get used to be able to dial up and dial down services as the APIs become more heavily used. It's going to be a different way of working, but at the end of the day, the customer and the user journey is the most important thing. And I think that having really slick and automated marketplaces and portals is going to be very important for us moving forward.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Now, Maurizio Goretti.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Maurizio Goretti. I'm the CEO of Namex Rome Internet Exchange Point, as you can see from the background. I think both of the things that Angela and Jennifer said are good starting point. In my opinion, a portal or a marketplace that, in my opinion, is two different things. Might be two different things, have to be one clear goal. It makes sense if they are useful. And I think that is part of this value added services that we can provide in our exchange point. I think that everybody in the past year have been a role as a sort of bridge between a member that look for a service and other members that can provide it. The people from different kind of internet service provider give us as internet exchange point of rule. So I think that we need to add a marketplace and a portal maybe to the list of services that we already provided. We are already providing as a value added services. I mean, our meeting is something useful that we add to the classical services. The one-to-one meeting, the business-to-business meeting that we organize inside our meeting, that, for example, in our exchange point are really useful. the training course, for example. We provide really good training courses and something like that. People like it because they are useful. So I think it's useful to have a place where the members, the internet service provider members, can have a business-to-business relationship. So that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you, Maurizio. So, Michalis, yeah, same question to you.
Yeah, hi from me. Apologies for using my mobile, but something went wrong with my laptop currently. So my name is Michalis Ikonomakos, and I am the head of the Greek Internet Exchange. I also happen to serve the Eurex community as a board member as well, and as of recently, the board secretary. So I would like to start by saying that internet exchange points, as you all know, are vital for a healthy internet economy in the region or in the country they operate. They have grown to such extent that nowadays they are not only a switching platform, but they have become a strong ecosystem. In such ecosystem, many members of the exchange have reached out to the IXP operators in many cases regarding services, cloud connectivity, transport, and etc. The role of an IXP, in my opinion, is not to become something different from a paid platform. Many times in the past, I'm quite sure that many of you have reached out to members in order to help them find the appropriate contact or service among other players in the market. On the other hand, provide or be provided of a new service might lead to new cross connects, new setup fees, installation times, and all those stuff. So at this point, I would like every one of us to question ourselves. If we were to provide a diverse way in helping the buyer and the seller of a service to reach out to each other, and on the same time reduce significant lead times for such a service, that is a problem, in my opinion, an IXP marketplace tries to solve, providing a mean of communication via sellers and buyers of services through the IXP platform. Thank you, Flavio.
Thank you, Michalis. Yeah, just to end this first round, now I would like to listen to Alexi.
Hi, so my name is Alexi Sohonen. I'm from Trex, from Tampere, Finland. And for us, the marketplace is not a portal, it's a mailing list. And if I go back far enough to when I think about how we started with it, I actually go to before the turn of the century. I used to work for a network operator in the 90s. And when we joined Links, their policy back then was that if they received an email from somebody asking for services, consumer services or enterprise services from Links, they would instead forward it to their members. So for that purpose, they asked the members who would be the right contact. So when we started designing our membership information template for Trex, we also included this because we thought that maybe we might get those sorts of queries as well. And later when we discussed or when we listened to our members discussing among themselves, we noticed that somebody had bought a small ISP, and after consolidating their services into their main data center, they had extra racks at an old data center or servers or stuff that was still usable, but that they didn't have use for. And somebody else was looking for stuff like that. So basically, we put 2 and 2 together and created a mailing list for our members to buy and sell stuff and services to each other. So it could include circuits for connecting to different places or the IXP. It could include transit. It could include old servers, routers, switches, racks, generators, whatever an ISP needs. And recently, I think this is most useful for us when new operators want to connect to the exchange point, because they will need to know where they can put their stuff, their routers. So they need hosting for a couple of rack units. They need a circuit from somewhere out of town and stuff like that. So at this point, we just have a mailing list. And maybe if I move, as I'm the last speaker, I'll move the discussion a bit to the next topic, in that I'm wondering what it is we really need. So if we were to create a portal, that would mean that we would have to sort of quantify everything that happens there, everything that goes on. We would need to define what transit is, what co-location is, and what circuits are, and so on. And then we would, everyone would need to define their services according to what we feel those things should contain. And on one hand, that would create a more level playing field for the people buying and selling. It would be easier to compare hosting by different providers or transit by different providers. But on the other hand, it might restrict innovation. But furthermore, as a small exchange point, we don't really have critical mass to make it a big thing alone. So I was sort of thinking about this. What if we had a peering DB style database of internationally of everyone that sells circuits, so that you could find from an international database of providers who provide circuits to Trex in Tampere, Finland, or who can provide hosting near Trex in Tampere, Finland, or any other exchange point. So that's sort of my 2 or 3 cents to begin the discussion.
Yeah, thanks, Alexis. So just to make a summary of this first round, I can say that you all agree that a marketplace something, it could be a portal or it could be another form of software. It is could be maybe useful for IXP members, and also because many internet exchange points they are becoming something of different, as Michaelis said before. Today we have more strong ecosystem inside internet exchange points, and maybe one of the main role of IXP is to facilitate the communications between members, and a tool like a portal or also a mailing list or something like that could be very useful for the community in order to understand which services are market inside the ecosystem itself. And also, we have a question from Swapcard. The question is coming from Luca Cicchelli. Okay, Luca asked which type of services are more interesting for a marketplace operated by an IXP. For our experience, actually 90% is IP transit. You can also read the question on the chat. I don't know if you want to, who of you wants to answer, or if we can do also another round by starting from Angela. Or if there is someone else who wants to answer to Luca.
I'll go.
Okay, you go, Jennifer. Then I will. I'll come after you.
Okay. It's really interesting saying which type of services are more interesting, because it really depends on who's looking. I think the traditional larger members and customers of an IXP don't necessarily need an IXP marketplace to buy and sell what they're looking for. A lot of the traditional networks are set up and they've got their tools and their networks already. I think where marketplaces might help us is when we're looking at new segments that are digitalized. And we heard all about the 5G news earlier, and how much that's going to affect enterprises and other sectors moving forward. And these networks, these newer networks who are starting to develop, who haven't got this all established, or they're buying it all through third parties, they're the ones who might be more likely to look at something like this marketplace and think, right, I can get my colo here, I can get some peering here, I can get some cloud access here, I can get some DDoS protection and a bit of IP transit. So I think it's really difficult to say there's one type of service that is going to be one size fits all, because it's going to be different depending on which network we're looking at. But I think if we can get those newer networks in through the door and buying more than just a peering service, then it will hopefully make exchange points more successful moving forward, as we're able to offer more successful products on top of the traditional peering ports that support a lot of our revenue.
Okay, Angela.
Yeah, I agree with Jennifer. So a very successful IXP has to diversify their services. It's not only about the peering. We all know that operators are looking for more services in one place, in only one place. So if we want to be successful, we have to have a very wide range of services. This is my opinion. It's not only about the IP transit.
Okay, thanks, Angela. Anyone else?
So this is Alexei. So basically, our point of view is of what an internet exchange point is that at the basic level, it of course provides a platform for peering, but we try to maximize what our members get out of it. So we try to enable our members to get as much out of it as they can by allowing them to sell services, for example, and buy services from each other, both at the exchange point and sort of with our help. So, and also in Finland, there isn't really any ISP association or stuff like that. So there's no real organization that would bring the ISPs together. And I think this is true in many countries, but the exchange point itself is somewhere where all the operators meet. So we can sort of be that ISP association for their ISPs. And so when we can be the one place they go looking for the services that they need. For example, if one operator needs a circuit cross town to a new data center where they haven't been before, they can ask us or our other members how they could get a circuit there, and who the right contact at that data center is for hosting for the router or whatever gear they are bringing there. So yes, I suppose IP transit and paid peering are usually the biggest things that in many exchange points the members need, but in a more peripheral IXPs or smaller IXPs, I think circuits are something that the members are more interested in, how to get there when they don't know, they're not local themselves, they are from some other country and they don't know how to get to places in Finland, for example. So I guess the services wanted and needed differ slightly also from exchange point to exchange point.
Okay, thank you, Alexei.
Yeah, if I may speak, Flavio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would I mostly agree with all the other panelists regarding their comments about services and what we should consider for it. But I would also like to point out that in our case, we have seen a lot of interest from our members for cloud connectivity and for VoIP services. All in all, I would say that there's no asset list for each exchange and for each community for the interest of the services their members might have. I think that we should, as all the exchanges done in the past, and I'm quite sure of it, they educated somehow the local internet business regarding various technical aspects like BGP, like route servers, like peering, like things like that. I would expect that provide the marketplace to an IXP will strengthen the bonds to the community, and eventually we will see more and more services being introduced to the marketplace, and that is something that we expect to be done via our members. I think our members will show us the way about which services are in need, which services our members are keen on selling themselves. So I think that first we should build the marketplace, strengthen the bonds, and then most certainly we will end up with the most successful, let's say, services for each marketplace. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Michalis. Maurizio.
I'd like to add one point that it's about maybe the main value that a marketplace can have. I agree that also in Roma, the transit is the more popular services together with the co-location service. But I think that the most important information that you can have is the information, in fact. So to find the right name to contact for the service that you are looking for. And this is not obvious, especially if you are an international internet service provider that is present in several places around the world. It's not straightforward, it's not obvious, and I think that can help a lot, especially in some countries, if you have a place that you can check where you can find or try to better understand how the things is working, who can provide that service and where and when, and who is especially the right person to contact, because we know that mainly in the big organization is not only to find, it's not only the problem to find what the internet service provider can provide that service, but who is the right person to contact.
Okay, good. Okay, thanks, Maurizio. So we can now move to the second question. And so what is the state of the art? Which of you already has a portal into production, and what were the reasons for its implementations? We can start from Angela, just to start again the round.
Thanks, Flavio. So as I heard, and also Alexi was saying, there are different models. So at Interland, we are using mailing list, and we have a static page on the website with all the services available for our members and partners. I think the implementation of this kind of portal inside an IXP depends on the organizational format of each IXP. For example, at Interland, behind our internet exchange, it's an association of small ISPs in Romania. So their decision is not to is to avoid having a portal or to advertise their competitor, let's say, because our members are having the biggest network operators and providers in Romania as competitors. So what we did, we developed a web interface where all the members inside the association advertise their services and the area they cover. Based on the geolocation, this is very useful for the end users to identify the nearest providers for the service they need. This is not helping all the partners, but only the members inside the association. I know there are people who prefer to search for a recommendation and they need a provider from people they know. I prefer not to call them dinosaurs, but more conservative, let's say. But I think we have to be open and to diversify the searching tools for our customers if we can, especially in these crazy times when we are forced to reduce the human interaction. But I think that we should listen to our clients' demands and to be open and facilitate the communication within our community. So I don't know how is in the others ISPs, but I would love to hear more from the other speakers.
Okay, thank you, Angela. We can move to Jennifer. Maybe you just told us something about the answer of you about the first question, but please.
Yeah, I think we're looking at it from a slightly different angle. We obviously have membership lists on our website that, you know, it's public information that people can see. They can see who the other members are. They can see what they do. We have peering and not contacts. We don't have sales contacts as such. I think what if we're answering the question, what is state of the art? It's obviously all going to be about automation, isn't it? Automating, being able to dial up and dial down services. The services that we're looking to put on the marketplace are really existing products that we have that our members can sort of add on in order to add value. That would mean that Links stays as the billing entity for all these different products. So instead of the customers having to go to 6 different companies for their different needs, they can get it all through Links. And we resell some bits, and then we can put that all on one invoice for the member. I think we're doing a portal project in 2021 that will introduce things as well, like sort of peering requests and being able to facilitate that communication between the members, because as we've said, it's going to be increasingly difficult. Well, vaccine announced today in the UK, but it's going to be, things are going to change moving forward, and we're not going to have all these forums and these meeting points where we can all talk to each other. So to enable that kind of facilitation on a portal and have some sort of messaging service, and also have some sort of automation that shows, I don't know, you might benefit from reaching out to this other member to pair traffic with them, and having that kind of automation going on in the background will be really helpful. So it's having that marketplace where members are just advertising products to each other is not really the route that we're going down, but it doesn't mean to say that our portal or our marketplace couldn't be used to facilitate that further down the line. We're speaking with a lot of partners at the moment about, you know, being able to resell through us and us being able to resell through them. So there's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of different options moving forward, and it's just a case of having a clear strategy and having a clear focus to get over the starting line and actually move forward with this. And the work that's been done with IXP in the last couple of years is a really great example of this, and that's kind of the direction we need to all be going in. This is automation, APIs, making it as easy as possible for customers and members to purchase products from the IXs.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jennifer. Very interesting. So Maurizio, what is the state of the art? Yeah, what is the state of the art in Namex?
The state of the art in Namex. First of all, we divided the marketplace from the portal, because in the last year we realized a portal that we thought as tools for the marketplace. Means the marketplace for us means meetings or occasion to the people to show their services and maybe web pages. But then we think that we have to be that we have to realize something again, as I said before, useful. People look for the services and always ask us who can provide service where. For this reasons, we think that we try to realize a tool that accelerate this process. I have some slides to show because we realize the services that before was called Namex Market, but now we move it to servicedb.net because we want to propose it to the community as something not owned by Namex, but something that might be interesting for everybody. It's a sort of it's a portal that you can at the address servicedb.net that you can access asking a local account or using your existing PeeringDB account. And if you enter it, you can look for service on the right part. You can look for service for kind of services, or you can look for service by location. In this portal, we extend the marketplace not just to the place where Namex is present, but because he has to be useful for all our members, we extend it for the whole Italian data center. So you can choose it by city, the next slide, or you can choose it by data center. We started from a list of data centers that we took from the PeeringDB. We took the one from PeeringDB that was located in Italy. Then if you select a data center or a service, you can go into one of the results that are the pages from the internet service provider, and you can get the first information. And the first information is who is the person to contact, for example, where they are present. Or you can send a request through a form, I think is the next slide, that allow to the requester to send very fast the request to the one that presented the services. And everything happens giving the possibility to the single internet service provider to be independent. Yeah, we also create a part where the internet service provider can show their offers from a particular kind of services. And they are independent in filling the portal because they have their own account and they can enter into that and they can see how many visits they have in their pages, or they can change their company data, or they can change the services they can provide in one of the data center in Italy. So the idea is to try to figure out altogether. This is something that we started last year, more or less. We need some time to develop, and then now we have the portal in production starting from November the 1st. I would like to ask you to everybody to try to enter with your own PeeringDB account and try to see what do you think about, because if you want, it will be really precious for us to receive some feedback from you.
Okay, thank you, Maurizio. So, Michalis, we had a long chat before the summit together by discussing about Marketplace Portal, as you remember. And so what is the state of the art? So Do you have a portal into production and the reasons about its implementations, or what you have in your plan?
Yes, that's exactly the things as you described, Flavio, and thanks for pointing out. I would start by saying that what Namex and Mauricio just presented, I think it's more than a good start in order to facilitate such a marketplace in exchange, at least in my point of view. Currently, we don't have a portal, but it's something that we are planning to build in the near future. We just recently took the decision to develop such a marketplace in GRX. I've checked before, as I told you, the work with Namex. It's fit us as more than as a starting point. So we are thinking too about to start and to provide a so-called, let's say, contact portal in order to have our members which are interested in selling their services through the IXP, have their contacts and been announced to a common ground, to the portal. Definitely, such a portal will make things easier in the start for potential buyers, to get in contact with sellers and do their business. As a next step, and it's something that we are actually seeing these days, is that we will try to integrate this into our CRM. Currently, we are using IXP Manager. And we are using IXP Manager in order to have the data exported and build all our automation on our platform, since everything in GRX is done automated. So we think as a next step that is crucial to have the same for the marketplace as well. So on the long run, we are thinking of the above process to be fully automated and transparent for the IXP operator. I really would like to thank you, Flavio, for the fruitful discussion we had during summer, and for showing me around with what you did. I think that you did an excellent job. I don't know if you have any plans in releasing it under a GPL license or something, or if you're having any thoughts about doing some cooperation for the broader community with some other tools. I don't know if this is the right time to discuss, but I'm just pointing it out. So yeah, that's the situation in GRX, and that's how we see things. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Michalis. Thanks. Alexi, we know that you just mentioned about the mailing list that you have in place to facilitate the communication between the members. Do you want to say something more?
Yeah, so clearly we are not as close to the state of the art as Namex, but basically what our experiences have been with not just this mailing list, but other contacts as well, is that when people change at internet operators, when the peering coordinator changes, or when the network architect changes, or when any other crucial contact for us changes, they don't necessarily tell us. The bigger they are, the smaller the likelihood is that they tell us. Because if, like, Hurricane Electric is connected to over 100 IXPs around the world, it's not practical for them to let every IXP know when some of their contacts change. So basically, we've been migrating toward not requiring our members to tell us when their key personal change, but rather that they should tell it somewhere centralized where we will get that information as well. Actually, initially, we already thought about this, and instead of getting their sort of personal contacts, we asked for RIPE handles, so that if they update the RIPE handle, then we would notice that way. But the RIPE database isn't really the right database for all sorts of contacts. So it's good for admin contacts, it's good for tech contacts, but it's not good for sales contacts, it's not good for NOC contact. Well, maybe NOC contacts anyway. So what we're doing now is we are rather asking them to update their contacts at the peering database, which is much better suited for the sort of stuff we need. But that too is not the right place for every style of contact, like sales and purchases. Those sorts of contacts don't really have a place in peering DB. And so the issue is, from my point of view, is to get critical mass. We need to be big enough for them to be interested in updating those sorts of contacts. And we simply aren't. And I don't think any of us are. So in that sense, the idea that Maurizio mentioned of creating a sort of service database that is not specific to any single IXP might have a better chance. The operators might be more interested in maintaining the right contacts in a database which encompasses tens or hundreds of IXPs instead of just one. Yeah, I guess that's what I think would be the next state of the art.
Okay, thank you, Alexis. So we don't have much time left, so I would like to move to the last questions, and together with this question, so what about the future of these initiatives? I also would like to ask you panelists to answer to Rob Lister's question from Swapcard. The question is, do IXP Marketplace really add anything in locations where there is strong overlap with existing node or community? So we can still start from Angela. So what about the future of these initiatives? And if you want also to answer to Rob.
Yes, thank you, Flavio. In my opinion, in the future, we should be open to those initiatives and to help our customers to speed up the process of choosing a service. For example, as I said previously, these initiatives are very useful and bring diversity to our tools and platforms. If our customer is satisfied using more tools, that's great. I know the automation is the future, but automation is for the robots and not for the humans. And in my opinion, and for me, it's very important to have interaction with my customers. I know the platforms are good, and I recommend everybody to implement this kind of tools inside their IXP. Especially for those IXPs which have different kind of services and a wider range of services, it will be very useful. But I don't know, this is my opinion. What do you think? Thanks.
Yeah, what do you think, Jennifer?
Yeah, I thought it's really interesting. Andrew just said that we need to keep that interaction with the members and the customers, and I really agree with that. But I want that interaction to be about what their strategy is for the next 5 years, what problems are they facing, how can we help with solutions, really inquisitive questions, and that kind of relationship, and becoming a partner of theirs rather than just a supplier, rather than the traditional conversations we've been having with them, which is literally, I need to upgrade my port, how do I upgrade my port, I need to change my billing contact. Moving away from that kind of transactional relationships into more of exploratory conversations about how we can help them solve their problems before they even know those problems have come to them, sort of thing. So I agree, it's really important to keep that personal relationship with your customers and members. And if you can automate as much as possible of the day-to-day tasks and the billing and the upgrading and the cancellations and the moving ports, if you can automate as much of that as possible, then it leaves you with more resources and them with more resources to talk about the actual important things that we need to be speaking to them about. So I think that's the drive behind the automation side of things. Do IXPs need marketplaces in these locations where there's strong communities? I don't think the traditional members and customers of ours need these as such, like I mentioned earlier, but the risk of sounding like a broken record, if we want to stay relevant, if we want to be able to keep reducing our port fees and keep peering relevant, then we need to attract different markets, different sectors, and those newer customers are going to be the ones that need the help, need the assistance, need everything in one place. If they can't get that from a peering exchange point, it's very easy for them to go to one of the large data centers and get all of that in one place, including peering, and not come to an IXP as such. So it's really a case of reframing in your head why you need a marketplace, who you're doing it for, and looking at the long-term strategy of it.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. So Maurizio?
I like to answer to the Rob question, to the first question. It really add anything? I think yes. Maybe it's not too much, but it add. Especially if you don't know the market very well, especially if there is no NOG, for example. So in that particular countries, it might add something. It is also true that people want an opinion, but if you help them at least to reduce the number of internet service provider that they have to ask for an opinion, maybe this is an help. It's just a bit, but it helps, I think. Last, answering to the question about our portal. The portal is available because we think that, because we would like to do something for the community. We released this weekend a feature where there is a possibility to make a sort of a federation of internet exchange point, where a single internet exchange point has its own possibility to create the profile for the internet service provider. We will like to, we propose to the community, if the community are interested in that, to work on this. We will be happy to give it for free if it makes some sense. Let me just add one thing about the value of all these things. As I said at the beginning, I think that our main value is the relationship with the internet service provider, with the community, everything. And this is the most important value, more than other things. And this is the big treasure that we can use, especially now that the market, even our market, is open. No? Even in our field, there are some of us that decided to open internet exchange point in city where there are already existing internet exchange point. I think that the only, not the only, but maybe the best way to try to, you know, not fight, but to compete with this is using the community credibility, the community trustability. So I think it's very important to build a trustability with our community, giving them something useful. If you are useful, it's less probable that somebody will choose another than you. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Maurizio. We don't have so much time, but I would like also to listen to Michalis and after Alexi, please.
Yes, will be very brief. about it because we are short on time, as you said, Flavio. I'm very glad to listen to the comments of Mauricio about releasing the portal. We've seen many exchanges together with Namex that have done a very good job on building an IXP marketplace. We as GRX are working very close with them in order to find common ground for future cooperation in that context. I would say that if there is interest in the community, and judging from today's discussion and from the questions, I would say that there is interest in the community about marketplaces. I think that starting from today, more IXPs can join forces and has something been built for the whole community. Personally, I was always in favor that there is no reason each time every one of us reinvent the wheel. So by ending my my speech, I would propose that we as a community, as URIX, have some discussions about this here and follow up on the mailing list. And I would love to listen to your comments. One last note from me is that regarding the question from Rob, I think it was from LONAP, if I'm not mistaken, regarding the node community. In my opinion, the internet exchange is a community itself. It belongs also, have its roots in the node community of each country, as far as I know. And I think there is no distinction between one to another. So it's not the IXP portal, the IXP, sorry, the marketplace wouldn't be something to strengthen the community in one way, but more to facilitate some business cases among the members of the exchange. So thank you, and it was very nice talking and seeing you all.
Thank you, Michalis. Thank you very much. So Alexi.
So in answer directly to Rob's question, when it comes to things like circuits or hosting or transit, in places where, in big markets where there is an existing community, then maybe the IXP cannot necessarily compete with the other community in providing the marketplace, or I don't know, could be, maybe it doesn't. But in small markets, like Finland is a very small market, and we don't have any other community other than what the IXPs have created, then we are the only place where you could go for that sort of stuff. But one sort of service that we haven't discussed is consulting. So basically, when a small ISP, a small operator is connecting to their first internet exchange point, they don't really know how all the BGP stuff works and how RPSL in RIPE works and stuff like that. So they come to us and ask, can you help us with that? And well, we will help them. There's really no one else in Finland who could. But then again, if you go to a bigger market like London, there will be consultants there that can help with things like this. And I think the value of the marketplace, IXP marketplace here, could be what actually Rob mentioned in his other question, that they could sort of rate or meta rate the different consultants. They could give suggestions on which consultant would best suit that operator. If a small operator comes about their first BGP, their first IXP connection, then maybe a small consultant might be better for them. Whereas if a multinational corporation comes about optimizing traffic engineering or stuff like that, then maybe some other consultant would be better suited for that ISP or enterprise. Okay. So I think in all markets, there may be space for the IXP marketplace, but it might be useful for different things. in different markets. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alexi. So just to close the panel, yeah, it was a very nice panel full of ideas to think about, and very interesting points of view coming from our valued guests and also from attendees on Swapcar as well. The discussion, of course, can be moved offline. I remind you all that there is a discussion box on Swapcar. If you have any other comment or question, we can move there. So there is not much time left. Thank you to all, and thanks to our guests to attending the panel. Thank you to all attendees. So I think that we now have 10 minutes break. See you later to continue the event together. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.